Hello and happy Thursday. We are tracking another round of some rain today. A little bit of light rain out there, more nuisance kind of stuff. And then on top of that, of course, previewing this first alert weather day for us for Friday. So we're going to get into more details on what to expect for our first alert weather day coming up in this live update. So let's move ahead and talk about today. First of all, we're looking at our sky cam down at the Dakota Magic Casino here. You see that we have some gray skies. It's looking pretty gloomy in the southern end of the valley, and for some of us we're seeing some rain, and that is perhaps affecting your drive and your time or plans to be outside. This is from the DOT cam along Highway 13 in Verona, and you can see the wet roads and the wet raindrops on the camera dome there too. So this is just one area, one of our DOT cams showing the rain. And if you want to check out DOT cams from around the valley, you can just go to valleynewslive.com and go to our road conditions page, and you can click on each state's DOT map from there and turn on and off cameras and check out how things are looking where you are or where you're planning to head from that location. So again, do that right on VNL valleynewslive.com. So again, we're seeing rain showers moving through. It's more Southern Valley yet again today. And there's a little bit of a break here in the Fargo area. We're seeing conditions that are, just on the edge, just on the cusp of the showers. If you look closely here, we've got this area of rain over by Jamestown, stretching down toward Ellendale along Highway 281. And then Fargo Moorhead kind of right on the edge of this, with this bit of a break extending toward Fergus Falls. And then there's another area of rain that we're seeing over by Alexandria, places like Elbow Lake, places that got a lot of rain yesterday morning. And so Southern Valley is the focus here. And I also have our satellite layer on as well, and you can see some areas of darkness. This is the black and white version of the visible satellite. So the darker it is, the more clear skies we have, a better view of the sun from above or from below, and a better view of the land from above. So again, more sunshine happening up in places like Langdon, whereas in the south it's more on the gray side. So it's a different story depending on where you are here today. Let's take a look at the closer view. You can see some areas where we have rain that's a little more steady in places like Ellendale and Oaks, back up toward Edgeley. You can see the yellow or the deeper green on the map. That's moving into Jamestown and Valley City too. And so again, in that Verona area, getting a good little shower going on. And we've got one just crossing over from Richland County into southeastern Cass. So if this holds together, we may soon see some sprinkles in Fargo Moorhead. And then again, the rain that's ongoing into places around Alexandria as well. So I'm not seeing any lightning here. I'm not expecting much in the way of thunderstorm activity. There is the potential that we might have a lightning bolt or two, but overall, this is more light rain. It's not as intense as it was yesterday for some of us in the south who had the heavy rain showers. In fact, some places had close to about 2 inches of rain around the Herman area in the Grant County region. Let's take a look at current conditions again. We've got that overcast sky down at the Dakota Magic Casino. We're looking at temperatures as of what time is it here? 10:40 this morning. There we go. As of 10:40, that are in the 50s and 60s, 63 degrees in Fargo, 65 in Grand Forks. Not too much wind, though, we may see a little bit of a breeze coming up for later today. I know that we've had a couple of gusts into the 20s, but overall, beyond that, it's not looking all that impressive for wind. You can see Jamestown reporting some rain right now. So again, we'll be watching this continuing to lift in. This is starting a little bit earlier at the 7 a.m. hour, so we'll zoom ahead a little bit more toward the 11 o'clock hour. We see these showers coming in this morning and lifting into more parts of southeastern North Dakota. Could extend into the Northern Valley. You're not completely going to miss out, but the potential is greater for more showers and longer lasting showers in the south for today. Continuing on into the evening hours, some heavier rain down toward Minneapolis, so traveling in that direction, and that's where it's going to be more active. We'll have showers starting to taper off for places like Fargo and Grand Forks. We'll see that start to taper off. Good news, I know we've got the Folkways Night Bazaar downtown. We previewed that on the Valley Today earlier this morning, and there could still be a sprinkle or a light shower ongoing at the start, but this pulls away pretty quickly, and heading into the evening should be winding down. This is the middle of the night. We're looking nice and clear in the middle of the night, heading into Friday morning. So let's talk about Friday. It's a first alert weather day. Most of the daytime hours, I think, are going to be on the Well, dry side. We'll probably have a lot of sunshine, especially early on. It is going to start heating up. We're going to feel the heat. We're going to feel the humidity return on Friday, with temperatures getting back into some 80s. And that's, again, helps to fuel thunderstorms for the region. So again, we're watching out for the potential for some stormy weather as the day goes on. So let's get back to that map. And you can see that moving into midday and into the early afternoon, not a whole lot to show you here. And one thing I will say is I don't have our satellite layer turned on here, so we will see some more clouds into the afternoon. But I just wanted to focus in on the rain and thunderstorm chances with this round. And so moving on into the 6 o'clock hour, it's possible we could have some storms developing by then. We've seen that in recent rounds, so I'm not going to rule that out. We want to be making sure we're starting to pay attention to what's going on with the weather once we get into that late afternoon time frame, especially if you're in our western viewing area where we're expecting it to move in first. And then you can see on the map here that we're getting development in central North Dakota. So that may be where it happens first. Doesn't mean, again, you can even see some cells here. That doesn't mean that we won't see it earlier for us here in the eastern part of the state as well. So let's zoom in or move ahead a couple of hours here. We're looking at Friday evening at 8 p.m. That line of showers and thunder showers starting to really take shape and move east from here. This particular model run weakens them a bit, which would be great news for us. But and for the valley, I should say, you can see down by Watertown, it still introduces that chance for some storms. And again, one thing I want to stress, models are all different. They all have their biases. They all have their weaknesses and their strengths. And, you know, we see model runs change from run to run. Sometimes there are shorter range models, sometimes update once an hour. Our longer range models will update only twice a day, sometimes 4 times a day. So each model can show a big shift. And this one does show a little bit more of a shift toward weaker storms. The previous one was stronger. So again, I don't want to say that, okay, suddenly the threat's not there, because that's not necessarily the case. It's just that we've got a new scenario here, and what we're looking for is a trend. If the next one that comes out as we head into the afternoon continues to show weakening threats, that would be great. That would be a trend and would be more likely for us to see perhaps less likelihood, but I have a feeling that we may see this ramp back up in the next round. So I just want to stress that as you're looking at this map here, that you know, we're not looking at the pinks on the map. And you know, we could see that develop into the later evening. Notice how in the 1 o'clock pause point that I've selected here, southeastern North Dakota could be seeing a strong storm moving through at that point. So a couple of things to bear in mind as you look at models, as we share them with you when we're talking about forecasts. So again, moving into the overnight hours and into Saturday morning, I do expect some weakening overnight into the Minnesota side. So something to keep in mind, just in the back of your mind, that we may not see as great of a threat in the east as we will earlier when it starts up in the evening hours Friday night out to the west. So heading into the rest of the morning on Friday, we'll start to quiet down and get a break, but we may see more storms coming up into Saturday. So let's talk about severe risk over the next few days. So this map we're looking at today's severe risk, and we don't have any color contours on the map. That's good news. That means not only are we not expecting severe thunderstorms, we're also not really expecting thunderstorms in general. That would be in that light green category here down by Watertown. That's called that non-severe thunderstorm risk. So a risk for storms, which can be dangerous, big downpours, you can still have gusty winds, and obviously lightning is always dangerous, but the threat is pretty low. So let's take a look at tomorrow. You can see the screen lights up when we move on to day 2, Friday, where that slight risk is more for eastern North Dakota, northwest Minnesota, includes Grand Forks and Fargo, back over to the east. While we're not in the slight risk in places like Badette, Bemidji, Park Rapids, Fergus Falls, we're still under a risk. It's a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather. And right now, the hazards are 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, the potential for golf ball-sized hail. And while the storm threat doesn't look as great as last Friday, there is still the potential that we may see a tornado. So I want to stress that too here as we're looking ahead to tomorrow night. And then the other thing is we've been focused on Friday. That's our first alert weather day, but we've also been talking about how there could be another round of storms on Saturday. And this is Saturday's severe risk. You can see that it shifts eastward. We're looking at that risk more into places like Fergus Falls, Sisseton, back toward Alexandria, up toward Wadena for Saturday in that slight level 2 risk. and then other parts of the valley under that level 1 marginal risk, and then it drops off from there over toward the Devil's Lake Basin. So the risk shifts eastward, as you would expect, heading into Saturday. So we'll have to watch Saturday as well for storms, especially for folks out at the lake in Minnesota, and anywhere where we're out and about here coming up for Saturday. So that's a look at our risks for our next couple of days. It is looking quieter today. Again, we do have those showers moving through. That'll be a nuisance, but really just showers. And then moving on into Friday, our first alert weather day. Again, we're talking about the potential for severe weather starting in the afternoon. We'll need to look out for it, and then into the late night hours potentially. And again on Saturday, look at those temperatures. We're going to be getting into the 80s. I'll bring this up full screen so we can look at the full view of it. 80s into Saturday and Sunday, continuing on through the week. And notice next week we turn the calendar to July, and heading into the 4th of July holiday and weekend. It's going to be warm. We'll be low to mid 80s. That sounds great for heading to the lake, for barbecues. Nice and toasty in summertime heat, but not necessarily soaring into the 90s. But there is an active pattern here that we're under, and we may see another round of storms into the end of next week that we'll have to watch out for. Right now, July 4th, we might eke by with most of our events not getting hit by storms with the latest models I've looked at, but the potential is there for a shift. It's still more than a week away, so there's a good strong likelihood that we might see timing shift on that. The general forecast right now is for warmth and a chance for some rain and thunderstorms coming up for the 4th of July. So again, first alert weather day coming up here for Friday. We want you to be ready for that. We'll continue to monitor our models and see if we let you know if we see any trends or how things are looking for timing on these as we get within that 24-hour period before those storms are expected to start. In the meantime, just a reminder, we need to make sure that we have got a plan in place. If you've got weekend plans to be away from home and you're camping, or maybe going to be out to a late night event, or perhaps you are traveling somewhere, want to have a plan to, one, be alerted. So have that alert set on your phone on the VNL weather app. Have your wireless emergency alerts on your phone turned on. NOAA weather radio, always a great tool as well. And then know where the emergency shelter is where you are. Anytime we've got that threat for severe weather, we want to know that. So if you're at a campground, know where that campground's emergency shelter is. A reminder, the tents obviously not going to protect you, but even RVs, mobile homes, those type of structures are just not sturdy enough to withstand some of those winds that are produced by severe storms and by tornadoes. So we want to make sure we have a plan to head to a sturdier structure. So keep that in mind as we're looking ahead to Friday. And today you may need the umbrella as you are stepping out the door. So make sure you've got that with you as we've got those showers, mainly for the Southern Valley here once again for today. And if you've missed the warmth, if it's been a little gloomy in the Southern Valley especially, just know that we'll see more sunny days ahead and warmer temperatures return on Friday. Have a great day on this Thursday. And again, we'll be back with updates on our first alert weather day for Friday today, and again, checking in for tomorrow as well.